Hi there, my name is Lindsay. I'm sitting here with my almost 7-week-old son, Graham. I'm a stay-at-home, work-from-home mom. Right now I still am on maternity leave for 2 more weeks, so I thought, you know what, why not start making motherhood videos like I watch on YouTube all the time to fill my time and maybe carry on with it. So the first video I thought I would talk about was breastfeeding. Obviously it takes up a lot of my time right now and takes up a lot of his time right now. My head is like full of information that I just sit here and don't talk about. So I'm going to film a video and talk about my breastfeeding experience this far. I'll start with when I first found out I was pregnant. I started reading books like the What to Expect When You're Expecting book, and it had a lot of information on breastfeeding and formula feeding. So to be honest, after reading that, I thought, and hearing other moms' experiences, I thought, I do not think that breastfeeding is for me. I heard a lot of experiences about how it's painful in the beginning, and it's super exhausting, and I don't do well with pain, and I don't do well with exhaustion. And I knew I was already going to be exhausted from having a newborn and being a new mom in the first place. So yes, I totally didn't think it was for me. Later on in my pregnancy, I kept watching videos just like the one I'm making right now, and I thought, you know what, why not give it a try? What could that hurt? I'll give it a try. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and I'll just be at peace with that. So after I made that decision, the hospital that I was going to be delivering at does offer an All About Baby program that has a breastfeeding class, and it's recommended for moms and dads to attend. So my fiance Adam and I did attend that. You would seriously be surprised with how much information you can learn in 2 hours at a class like that. So that would be my first recommendation. If the hospital you're delivering at provides something like that, a class like that, totally go to it, because honestly, we learned so much from that. After the class, we both talked about it and said, you know, this seems important to the both of us. And that's the second thing I will say. Breastfeeding should be as important to your spouse as it is to you. At that class, they really helped prepare you for what to expect right after you deliver, and how they were going to support you, and what things were kind of going to look like. So about an hour after my son was born, the nurses suggested that I try breastfeeding for the first time. He latched on perfectly. The nurses said that it all looked amazing. And I thought, okay, this is going really good, but is it too good to be true? Because I had so much support. Just every second that I needed something, had a question about something, all I had to do was press the button, and the ladies would get annoyed with me because I pressed it so much, and they'd come in and help me. They weren't really annoyed, but I literally pressed that button a million times. So yeah, I was like, okay, this is really going great, but I hope it goes this well when we get home. So yeah, just like I said, when we got home, it is so important to have the same support that you had at the hospital, and the nurses to have that same support in your significant other that is helping you. Adam was literally amazing, because I felt like I did not leave that couch for a week straight. Now, that's because I was also in pain from everything postpartum, but it felt like I was breastfeeding around the clock. During the cluster feedings, during the times that you get frustrated, I just kept telling myself, this emotional connection is real for me. This is still very important to me, and I'm not going to give up on it. So another thing that I did to relieve my frustration was really think about and not take for granted the times that he wasn't on the breast. I would go and take a long hot shower. I would try and take a nap for a little bit, or honestly just cuddle with Adam just for a little bit, just to clear your mind and reset yourself. Another important thing that I wanted to cover was nighttime feedings. Obviously, for the first few weeks, you probably have your baby in the same room with you. And I did read in the What to Expect book to have that conversation with your significant other about what you picture nighttime feedings being like before your baby comes. Adam and I tried doing that, but really what worked best for us was to just take it day by day when he was here. So I will share what has worked for us this far, and maybe it can benefit you guys. So what worked for Adam and I was the first few weeks he would sleep in a doctor cot in our room. When he honestly was trying to sleep through the night since he was born, and we were having to wake him up every 3 hours for feedings because that is what our hospital suggested. So I would wake him up, and Adam would go change him in his nursery, swaddle him back up, bring him back in. I would feed him, and those feedings can last a long time. before your milk comes in, and even after my milk came in. Like when they're so young, the feedings are longer. And so I would set him back, once he was done feeding, I would set him back down, and his doctor taught go back to sleep. Same thing again in 3 hours. Now after he surpassed his birth weight, he was allowed to sleep through the night, and we moved him to his crib just because he was sleeping for so long. So yeah, he moved to his crib around 2.5, 3 weeks. And for the first few nights, he would wake up around 5 to 6 hours. So we were still doing nighttime feedings. Now when he moved into his crib, nighttime feedings were basically the same. He would wake up, Adam would go in there, change his diaper, swaddle him back up, bring him to me. I would feed him. When I was done feeding, Adam would put him back in his crib. And that's, right now, last night he slept from 9:30 to 5:30, so we're not really getting up in the night anymore, but that is what worked for us. Now, I will say with nighttime feedings, in the beginning, it's hard to keep them awake. He was sometimes falling asleep on the breast, and in return, that would, make him more fussy because he wasn't getting full. Something that the lactation specialist at the breastfeeding clinic recommended was just stripping them down to nothing but their diaper, and kind of tickling and messing with their feet to keep them awake at the breast. I didn't have to do this too many times, but when he would fall asleep, I did that, and it seemed to work out for us. So I did rely heavily on the breastfeeding clinic. I'm assuming most hospitals do have breastfeeding clinics with lactation consultants, so I would seriously recommend leaning on them whenever you need help with anything. So I went in there the first time because the pump that I had got through my insurance, which was the Medela Pump and Style Advanced, it just wasn't working for me. Like, I wasn't even able to pump like half an ounce at a time. And so I was like, I don't think this thing is working. So I went in there, and they had me bring him in hungry. He was screaming his head off in the waiting room. I looked like an idiot for not feeding my child when he was screaming his head off. So when we got in there, they weighed him before. I fed him on one breast, weighed him after. He ate 2.5 ounces, and he seemed satisfied for a little bit. She had me try pumping on the other breast, and of course, nothing happened. And so after a while, he started to get a little bit fussy again. She was like, he's smiling over here, cracking himself up. You're funny. Are you hilarious? You are hilarious. She was like, let's try pumping on the breast. Okay, and like I told you, nothing came out. And so she was like, she started to be fussy again, so we put him back on that breast, on the other breast that I just tried pumping on, and he ate another almost 2.5 ounces. So we knew it wasn't from lack of supply that my pump wasn't working. So that was kind of a bittersweet appointment. Like, after I left that, I felt amazing about the fact that he was gaining weight, and, he had far surpassed his birth weight. He could sleep through the night now. But I was really, just bummed that my pump wasn't working, because a pump is super handy because your spouse can feed your baby, your family can feed your baby. You can, do date nights, and You're loud. Oh my gosh, tell us a story. Yeah, is that hilarious? That's hilarious. He's just smiling away. Are you talking to us? If you just go to the breastfeeding clinic and have them weigh before and after he feeds so that you can really see how much he's getting, it will give you the second win that you need and the power that you need to keep on pushing through, because there will be hard times, but getting that reassurance that you're doing something right for your baby and that it's working out after all the hard work, it literally gave me the second win, and I felt like a new person. I was like, okay, it sucks that my pump isn't working, but my boobs are doing their thing, so I'm going to keep on pushing through. So that is my next major recommendation, to make a trip to the breastfeeding clinic just to get that reassurance. Another topic I think people worry about a lot with breastfeeding is, can I still drink alcohol since I've gone 10 months without? I don't have a lot of advice on this topic, because here I am almost 7 weeks postpartum, but I still haven't had a sip of alcohol, so I won't even cover that subject. You will worry about things, just like I worry about alcohol. You'll worry about breastfeeding in public, you'll worry about it around family members. When's the best time for family members to come home, because when is he going to eat next? You'll do anything to increase your milk supply, like eat crazy lactation cookies that my fiance swears are a marketing scam, and they probably are, but I do it anyway. Now, with all this said, this is simply just what works for Adam and I. Obviously, the most important thing is that your baby is fed, and like I said at the beginning of the video, I told myself if this works out, great. If it doesn't, I'm going to be at peace with that. And it just so happened that it did work out for us. So I just wanted to share some things that, some breastfeeding essential items that have worked out for me, and like some things that I bought before he was even here that I didn't end up using. So, the first thing here is, these are like literally the most important thing. These are just disposable nursing pads. They're by the Medela brand. I had the Lancino brand. Any of them are fine, but Lily, you want to wear these around the clock or you'll be in public with a wet boob and look like a hooligan. The second thing is, this is the Lancino brand that I was talking about. This is lanolin to go over your nipples, like if they're sore. I never actually ended up having any issues with painful breastfeeding, but I still use this because the lactation specialist recommends you use it. The third thing is, this is like, this is what I bought when I was pregnant because I watched like breastfeeding essential videos just like this and somebody recommended it. I actually never ended up using it because just like I said, I didn't have any painful like engorgement or anything like that. But this can be put in the freezer or heated up like to relieve engorgement or just any pain that you're having during breastfeeding. I may use this in the future, I don't know, but I haven't used it yet. The last thing is nursing bras. Okay, I'm like a man trying to figure out how this bra works. There we go. Okay, so nursing bras, like this is just like a sports one, and I wear this to bed and just like around the house when I'm being lazy. It's just like a deep V. They do make like actual padded nursing bras, and I have them, but honestly, I don't even use it. Like, it's got like the little snap right here. It's not even necessary. A normal bra is fine. You can just pull it over. But yeah, these are like, this is the most comfortable bra. I will wear this when I'm not breastfeeding because it is the most comfortable sports bra I've ever put on in my life. So, I don't know if you can hear it, but he's starting to cry. So, I'm done with my video, and I will keep making motherhood videos, and thank you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye.